Imagine you're 5 years old, locked in a closet. Look, you're 5 years old being locked in a dark closet, not for a little while, but for hours. You see, when I was 5 years old, my brother and I, when we would make noise or do things that my mother's boyfriend didn't like, he would lock us in a closet. And we would be there for hours at a time. And at 5 years old, I was afraid. I was scared, didn't know what to do. But we couldn't make noise. We couldn't try to come out or there was going to be trouble. But what I would do to get away from there, I would dream that I was living with my grandparents across town, away from this situation. Now, I would always dream and pray that this would happen. And I'll never forget one Saturday evening, my mom said, "Mama Effie wants to talk with you." That was my grandmother. And I got on the phone, didn't know what she was going to say. And she said these magic words: "We're coming to get you tomorrow to live with us." Now, that was music to my ears. And let me tell you, when I hung up the phone, I ran to my room, I got my suitcase out, and I packed it. Now, I went to bed that Saturday night knowing that tomorrow was going to be a great day for me. I got up early Sunday morning, and I started walking out. And my mother said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to wait for Mama Effie and Pop." She goes, "Well, you know, they're not coming to after church." Now, back then, they didn't get out of church till 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But I sat on that porch until they got there. And when I saw their car pull up, I ran to their car. And they said, "Well, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm ready to go." They said, No, we're going to go visit with your mom first." And I said, "Okay, I'll wait here." See, I had no intentions of stepping foot in that apartment again. I had no intention of them mistakenly leaving me behind. So I sat there and waited for them. Another chime that I want you to bring to your attention is when I was growing up, I didn't know who my biological father was. I knew who they said was my biological father. But I learned many years later, in fact, when I was 48, that he wasn't my biological father. Things started making sense to me when I was little. I couldn't understand why he would make promises to me about what we're going to do on my birthday, and then the day would come, he would never show up. I remember how I would get so angry and say, how could he forget? Because it was the same day as his birthday. And I didn't understand it until I realized that he wasn't my biological father. Now, I knew, once I found out who my biological father was, I knew that guy. But I only knew him as my older sister's biological father. But unfortunately, we couldn't develop a bond because he was killed when I was 12 years old. You see, those events shaped my life. Those events helped me understand what type of man, what type of father, what type of dad I wanted to be. And I wanted to do the opposite of all of those things. In fact, I believe in it so much. I believe that fatherhood is the greatest gift that's been given to every man. And I believe in it so much, I wrote a whole chapter dedicated to fatherhood in my new book, $1 Million Beach House, My Journey to an Extraordinary Life. Now, you know, Booker T. Washington once said, success is not where you are. Success is overcoming the challenges you had to overcome to get to where you are.